What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Littleroot Lessons, episode 296. I'm your host, Angelo, and I'm joined by the hardest working producer in Pokemon podcasting, Carl Wilkin. How's it going, buddy?
It's going. I'm tired. This was a
Same.
long week.
It's a late night for us.
It's also a late night, but
Yeah.
that was why I was tired with the time change and
Yeah.
work and everything. And yeah, it's just been a long week.
How was your Halloween?
Amelia made out like a bandit.
Okay.
She's too cute for her own good. There is currently a bucket. I think it's probably about a foot deep, and it is full to the top, overflowing with candy. She is not going to eat probably any of it because she is too.
Kayla sent the picture, and I just saw the little packet of Gushers, and I'm like, Kayla, real talk. The number of petty crimes I would commit just for a little thing of Gushers right now. Halloween for me, Amanda and I, we went out with some of our friends. We went and got dinner instead of going to trick or treating. At my apartment, they do literally nothing for Thanksgiving for Halloween. No one does there's no trick or treating within the buildings. The clubhouse, the property management company, they did literally nothing, not even decorate because they suck. So we're like, let's go out. And where her friends live, it's in the literal middle of the woods, so they don't get trick or treaters. So we're like, let's have a game night. We played werewolf, for the spooky sort of thing. And then that was really it. It was low key, but it was nice to spend time with friends. Also, it was nice to go to a restaurant going out on a Friday on Halloween, just a regular restaurant. There's no one there. It was amazing.
See, that's the opposite here. Usually the restaurants are packed because everyone's taking their kids out trick-or-treating, and so they don't cook dinner.
Yeah.
They go take them out to go eat.
Yeah, no, here it was for a lot of people, or at least for me growing up, Amanda's parents, it would always be, let's either do takeout or we'll cook something because we're having people over. I mean, when I was growing up, I felt like I would, between my parents' friends, my siblings and I's friends, we'd have 20, 30 people at the house. And so my parents would just make a ton of stuff or make it a potluck or something. And Amanda's family would be the same thing, or they'd order out and get pizza.
It must be just an East Coast thing, because here in the Midwest, no one's home. No one stays home. If you're not out trick-or-treating, you're likely already asleep.
Yeah, well, we're a lot of times we're also home passing out candy. I haven't been able to pass out candy at my own house since I think the last time we'll go, Amanda and I, in the past few years, this was I think the first year in 2 or 3 years we didn't do it. We would pass out candy at her parents' house because they get a lot of kids. I think her dad said that they had at least 600 or 700 come through, which a lot of kids. But I think the last time it was at my personal house was back in 2019. And it is fun to just stay home and just pass out candy. I drank a 12-pack of pumpkin beer and had the Sixers game on radio and just gave kids candy. I'm like, this is great. No one's bothering me. It was a nice night out. The weather was also awful this year. It was a massive windstorm. We actually had to take a detour to get home, because about 15 minutes into our drive home, there was a tree in the middle of the road. And we're like,
that sounds like Midwest stuff.
Yeah. Where they live, again, middle of the woods in southern and southern, southeastern-ish Mass. And it was a situation of, we turned around and Amanda texted everyone hey, don't take a right to go home, just go left and go around. But yeah, and while this was all going on, we had our second week of back-to-back regionals in Europe. We had Gdansk regionals, and we also had a regional in Australia, Brisbane. And I feel at this point, the metagame is really, really, really solidifying.
Yeah, we know what's good. You can tell. Here, I'll get it pulled up here.
Yeah.
This one should be Gdansk. You can tell here, there's the top 12, top 10. I say top 10. Top 10 is pretty locked up. We see Instant, Golden Go, Brillaboom, Bloodmoon, Ursaluna, Sneasler, Dragonite, Ninetales, Alolan Ninetales, Annihilate, Archaludon, Volcarona. Okay. Cool. If I swap to... Oh, let's go get Brisbane up here. Should be
in the chat, I think.
this one. I have both separate windows, so I also make sure I have them.
Yeah.
Golden Go, Incineroar, Rillaboom, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, the top 10. The top 10.
Top 10 don't change between these two events.
Yeah. Actually, the top 13 doesn't change.
Well,
the only difference in like the top 12 graphic is that in Brisbane you had Ursaluna.
Yeah.
As 11. And Ursaluna was 13th in Gdansk with Pelipper in 12th.
Yeah.
And again, Pelipper missed it in Brisbane. So the top 13 Pokemon are relatively set in these formats. Now, specifically, you're looking at the top, because let me look. The top 8 as well, I'd say. Like, that's where it's set for both. So from Annihilate, Alolan Ninetales, Dragonite, Sneasler, Ursaluna Blood Moon, Rillaboom, Gholdengo, and Incineroar all had 20% or more usage in both tournaments, and those 8 Pokemon were the only Pokemon to hit that 20% mark in both tournaments. And I think it probably, and like in Brisbane, it was a little like the top 12 seemed a little flatter. You went to 70% Archaludon,
and then
15,
it kind of 15
yeah.
for Urtfolk, and then it kind of 14,
Yep.
and then it kind of fell off to Pelipper at 12.
Yeah,
Or
and
almost
then
13, but
then it goes and in Gdansk it goes 18, 16, and then 11 through 13. The Basque Legion and Pelipper actually had the same usage. They technically tied for 11.
Exactly the same.
Yep, and then Ursaluna. Also at 14th. Ursaluna was at 61 Ursalunas, Hisuian, and then the 62 for Basque Legion and Pelipper. So they're all around the same. It's just the top half. So for Gdansk, you had Instant at 52%, Dango at 46%, Rillaboom a hair under 42%, and Ursaluna at 40%, where you only had 2 Pokemon above that 40% mark in Brisbane, both Gholdengo with 100 appearances out of 210 players, and then Incineroar at 98. So for 47 and just a touch under, like a touch over and a touch under 47% for each of them. The team, and of course, I think the teams that we see a lot of the same teams, but I think that it really showed like the differences in these regions or how it's approached. Because overall, like, do you want to start with like the Brisbane teams first?
Yeah, we could touch on Brisbane because this one's not going to be long.
Yeah. So what we saw a lot in Brisbane, I hate using the term outdated because these are common teams that you should have a lot of experience and preparation for. They're teams that we've seen a lot. With that being said, though, it's like these are well known teams, and it's not like, oh, this is something a little different. Going into Kaito's winning team, so Kaito is UB Slow, for those of you who know the Japanese players better than their Twitter handles than their actual names. I sure as one am just like that. This is just the Ursaluna P2 balance team with a levitator instead of a flying type. I mean, a fighting type. Or like earthquake immune. So this is a 6 that has been pretty much the standard, I'd say, way to play Ursaluna P2 in the current iteration. Like, you have the hydreigon mode as well, which I do believe we do see that. No, we don't. I thought I saw that today.
I'm about to say, I don't remember the last time I've seen a hug team make day 2.
Yeah. But again, like, I think that's saying the whole, like, it's in what the quote unquote outdated, like, to an outdated way of playing this, like, playing Reg H and this archetype. It's like, this isn't Tony going and doing this, but because that was what my group was doing pretty much this time last year. It is a different look with the Kilowattrel. It does, I think the electric typing the ability to be a tailwind setter and to play this as a tailwind team is the adaptation it needed. And it's a little weird, again, a little weird, even just for Pokemon like Amoonguss to completely fall off. Amoonguss at Brisbane was 14th in usage and 17th in Gdansk. It's a Pokemon that is a VGC staple and was a massive staple of the first Regulation H, but it's really, really fallen off in usage the second time around. So even that Pokemon is uncommon. Same with Porygon 2, not really having a lot of usage. So it's weird to say like this is a very well-known composition, but it also uses 3 Pokemon that just aren't in your top usage.
I could answer to why Amoonguss has probably fallen out. It's that new acrobatics Sneasler, man.
Yep. You have the acrobatics Sneasler.
Acrobatics, Terraflag acrobatics, pretty
delete
much
button.
Is just a delete button into bulky defensive Amoonguss. Like it forces Amoonguss to Terra every single time, which is not something you want to be doing with a Pokemon on your team. You don't want to be forced into Terra-ing, especially when things like Ursaluna are also weak to it. Porygon's also weak to it. So that definitely impacts its usage a lot. Is that the most popular Sneasler right now is the close combat Swords Dance acrobatics Sneasler.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say not absolute most common right now. Just at least, let me see it for this event.
I'm pretty sure that is the most common type of Sneasler we're seeing right now.
So I'm looking at, so I think it might just be like they aren't using both. So right now, this is just looking at Gdansk. You see Terra Flying is the most common Terra type at 57. However, Acrobatics is only the 4th most popular move by a significant margin. Dire Claw is about 20 percentage points higher in usage. We had 83 Dire Claw Sneaslers and only 56 Acrobatic Sneaslers. Now, of course, that could just be running 3 attack Sneasler with Acrobatics instead of
the Swords Dance.
Yes. Also, it does show that 56 Acrobatic Sneasler and 57 Terra Flying Sneasler. So there was someone who was running Terra Flying Sneasler that didn't have Acrobatics on their Sneasler. Curious to see how that person did.
There's also 3 Grassy Sea Sneasler that aren't Terra Flying.
Yep. So yeah, there's a lot of different things there. I think it's like the generic set. Or even, I'd say this, it's just a shock to even see Dire Claw not be a 100% used move, because that really at the start was the reason why Sneasler was so good. You were the speed ceiling, and you had your coin flip, like, I can win because I rolled my sleep, or I got you down to Sash, and I procced poison, now you're dead. So to see that move drop off, we'll get to like the main announcement at the end of the pod, or once we finish covering the tournaments. But I'm curious to see like the future of Sneasler due to the acrobatic set going off. So what else did we see in Brisbane? I think I mentioned to you the second place team, Uyatada's team. I do think it's a little interesting.
Bam.
Yeah, this is the Trick Room Rain Bear team. No, not that bear, the other bear, my bear. Farig Blood Moon, my beloved. I just seeing a Life Orb Terra Normal Blood Moon ursaluna next to a Frigoraph just warms my heart. And yeah, I think this is just another way to play the Trick Room team. You're leaning insanely onto special offense. The only physical attacker on the team is the Banded Basculesian. But with, again, the amount of Incineroar, you don't have to worry about dealing with Intimidate on this team outside of the Basculesian, which even after Intimidate, as long as you're in the rain, you still mess up the Incineroar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is like just a relatively neat team. And again, to note, you have 2 Japanese players at the top of the Australian event. Kind of sucks for Australia. Like, they're just... I understand why it does suck that they don't have OCIC anymore, but at this point, their OCI, it would just be more invites for Japan and for the US potentially.
I think the Japan's players' teams are more interesting than the Australian players' teams.
Oh yeah,
Like this is Nicholas Khan's team, and it's just
hey, it's a Japanese player. This is Shohei's team.
Yeah,
it's just a Japanese player.
It's just a Japanese players team that's been touted around forever. Oh look, it's the Frankfurt winning team.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Wow. Yeah. No. Like also, like we were talking about, it's the acrobatics sneasler.
Acrobatics with Dire Claw. Look at that.
That's what I was saying. Like acrobatics is more popular than you think it is. It's the one that's actually doing well. I was looking up through Lab Mouse this weekend to see where they were placing at in terms of the acrobatics, like Dire Claw Sneaslers.
Acrobatics is just doing better.
Acrobatics is head and shoulders above, and the ones that are doing well are the ones with acrobatics. Like the Dire Claw ones that are doing well have acrobatics. Yoav is the highest placing one at 4th. Out of Brisbane. The next one that has Dire Claw, Grassy Seed is
it's not
62nd.
Yeah.
And then like 106, 157, 172. The highest placing Dire Claw, Grassy Seed Sneasler in Gdansk was 114th.
Jesus.
If I just take out, there was a Poison Touch Dire Claw Sneasler in Top Cut at Gdansk, but it wasn't an Unburdened set. It was a Poison Touch set. It was a completely different set on a completely different team. None of the ones in Top Cut had Dire Claw. They were all close combat acrobatics.
Yeah.
Other than that one, which is, it's a big deal. Like we're talking about, it's just like acrobatics. You think it doesn't look that popular, but it is the one that is seeing the most success.
Yeah. No, definitely. I will say I won't argue. It feels like the most successful one. Which I think is just generally another development. And I think that's been the big aspect of Regulation H in round 2. It's not like there's been new Pokemon that have been found. Yes, Volcarona is being used more often than it was. And I think like Alolan Ninetales and to a lesser extent Annihilate, these Pokemon are like more popular than they were. But a lot of the changes have been running, whether it's like going some people using the 3-attack Goldango, all the different Incineroar sets you can possibly think of, the going and using the Miracle Seed on the Rillaboom, going and the lefties plus Tech Move on the Blood Moon Ursaluna with Terra Electric. Literally all of the different Ninetales sets you can possibly think of. When you look at let's just look at
Brisbane. What is this? What is the 6?
Oh,
look at this 6.
This is 11th. Was this 11th?
This is 11th place. What is the 6 doing? This is like Wheezing plus choice locked dragons. What in the world am I looking at here?
This is a classic Australian cook.
Clearly.
this is a classic Australian cook. And I think that's like when we would cover Australian events in the past, especially like this is the stuff, or even like 10th place team, Jack Roth's, where he has like the P2 Ursaluna with a Kingdra Rancor and Serena.
Thing is, we've seen that before, though.
I was going to say that's still like a bit of a cook. This right here, if I have to guess what this is over here, this is over-indexing the idea that Weezing is an anti-meta Pokemon, because a lot of the Pokemon in the format like having their abilities, but the other thing is you're stuck having a Weezing on the field.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's like you're stuck with a Weezing.
Yeah, Taunt Willow, like you could do stuff, and I think like the other thing is you can use an Incin to intimidate, and without the abilities, so specific, unless you're up against a Scarfed Monitor, they get their speed control up. Without abilities, your 2 dragons, like your Scarfed Salamence and your Bandy Dragapult, they become the speed ceiling outside of modifiers. So I think that's the idea where you can go into a Grassy Seed Unburdened Sneasler with Weezing, and your Scarf Salamence threatens with dueling beat to just beat it, or like just spams breaking swipe so it just doesn't do anything, or your Dragapult just goes Terra Dragon. I'm sorry, Terra Ghost, Banded, Terra Blast, or
Blow 'em up.
Outrage. Like so I think that's the idea there, and then just Terra Water, Blood Moon, Ursaluna with Assault Vest is one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the format, and the Covert Cloak, quiver, like both supportive and boosting Volcarona, is able to just turn into its own win condition as well. That's at least my thought process looking into the team, or at least the way I think Scott was approaching team building. And I think just saying the idea out, like explaining it, neat on paper, and it definitely, came in 11th place, definitely worked well for him. How repeatable is this? God, I have no idea. Probably not.
It's
not at all.
This is not a repeatable. This you can't run unless your name is Scott Kennedy. You're probably not running this back.
Yeah, there's probably some crazy calcs and spread specific. Like, I think I wouldn't be shocked if there's like a weird instant spread on this sort of team. Because, if you're running Choice Mons, you just know that they're pretty much 252, 252. I will say, as someone who's played Banded Dragapult, I played the Banded Dragon, Terra Dragon version, and Banded Terra Dragon Outrage blows everything up in the format that's not immune to it. So,
yeah.
With that being said, I could see just regular Banded Outrage doing pretty close as well, and then just having the consistent damage of Terra Ghost, Terra Blast to attack Pokemon such as Goldango, and other like Terra Ghost Pokemon that might pop up. Like you try to Terra Ghost to get around a Fake Out, and all of a sudden you're eating a Terra Ghost, Terra Blast the next turn. But yeah, cool cook. I think this just going through things. This is the cool team of the week.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And then everything else just going
in Gdansk to really
27th
like
place. There was a Galarian, Slowking, and Salamence team.
All right.
And they made day 2.
This is a rock sliding Sneasler.
Okay, Rock Slide Sneasler, Mirror Herb Salamence with special coverage. So probably
I'm gonna copy that nasty plot. Thanks.
Yeah, you're trying to copy the nasty plot, and then you accidentally copy the Defiant boost.
If you copy the Defiant boost, your Terra Ghost, Terra Blast is likely physical at that point.
Oh yeah,
really hits that Annihilate hard.
Yeah.
So
you're also going and using Wide Lens Thunder Wave on the Maushold. That's cute. That's neat.
Brisbane's always got the cute text.
Yeah. Just Galarian Slowking's existence, Snarl, Acid Spray, Chilly Reception, Trick Room. For those of you who do not know what Chilly Reception is the signature move of Slowking that was introduced in Generation 9. It is a negative priority pivot move that sets snow.
It's teleport that sets snow.
Yep.
That's literally all it is. It's teleport that sets snow.
Yeah. The idea of Chilly Reception is, or at least I think like the Japanese translation, it's pretty much like the idea is you tell a really shitty joke and then get the hell out.
Yeah, kinda.
Hence the cold reception because no one's laughing, or something like that. I think for like a way to play Trick Room, it's cool. Yeah, definitely. Looks like a fun team. This team also went and made Phase 2. They then went and didn't win any games in Phase 2. So with Daniel, this is a case of definitely more so player than team, or at least maybe he was able to get some wins. Let me actually see when.
So they won 5 in a row. They won rounds 1 through 5. Lost 6 and 7 to Joji Kaida, and then Josh Sutherland, which
also did well.
Both were in the top 10. And then won their winning in round against Brendan Roberson.
And then dropped their next 2. Against the
12th and Matt Skolm.
Matt finished in 21st at 7-3.
So yeah.
But yeah, so overall, solid day. Would be my best regional, not best regional performance. Technically, we both have the same day 1 regional schedule. I was never able to play in a day 2 because those didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
Would have made it, though, if we played it, if I was able to play when we actually had support in these events. Oh, well. But yeah, I'd say overall just interesting, like, out of the teams that made Phase 2, those were the ones that were the most interesting in the...
Oh, I know which team's going to get coolest team of the week because I remember from Gdansk. We're gonna have a really cool one coming up.
Oh, I might. Yeah, I kind of remember that. Yeah, and I think with Gdansk we can just switch over and just start talking about teams. Again, the metagame was very much the same. We know what these good Pokemon are.
Yeah, so our finals for Gdansk was a mirror match.
Mm-hmm.
Same 6, pretty much all. I think it's all the same moves. The only major differences were EVing in certain situations. I wrote them all out. Let me go find it.
Let me just
find
check
the list because I wrote a bunch of it out. Simone's Basculegion was Jolly versus Theotime's Basculegion being Adamant. That came up a couple times because while Simone's was not hitting as hard, it was faster than +1 Volcarona.
Yep.
That was a really big deal for the mirror. Another big thing was Simone's Incineroar was faster than Theotime's Rillaboom. That became a very big kind of pressure point because it still meant that Simone's Incineroar in an endgame situation could parting shot into Theotime's Rillaboom, reducing its damage even more. Which also came up that Simone's Rilla was faster than Theotime's Rilla. That also came up and was a big deal a lot of the time. We never got to see the Ninetales. They did not bring it. They never saw the Blood Moon. They did not bring it. They both brought Rilla, Ensign, Basculegion, Volcarona. Had pretty much the same 4 back and forth all the way through. The finals was a lot of trading back and forth. A lot of how much does my Volcarona take from this Basculegion? Wave Crash. Can I live this hit? Theotime got unlucky in game 1. Got crit.
Yeah.
And then got his Basculegion burnt, and it just kind of that game 1 kind of spiraled from there. Game 2, Simone kind of got ahead, was able to kind of outmaneuver a little bit on Theotime, and it just ended up getting to a situation where Incineroar Rillaboom versus a Rillaboom. Couldn't break through the opposing Rillaboom fast enough. So
yeah, especially with the high horsepower that has been very common on the Rillabooms. I think in general this was a team that I think I almost went and brought this to a local, and I remember you texted me, Carl. You're like, "Where's the redirection?" I think with the play that we saw, didn't need the redirection this week. Both these players massively played with the double fake out, and if you want to watch just how to properly play Incineroar plus boosting Pokemon, Theotime's top 4 matchup versus
against
Juan Salerno.
Juan, yeah, Juan.
Oh
the
my
top
God.
4 match against Juan was nuts.
So in game 2, Theotime lost his Blood Moon pretty much immediately and played 4v3 with just Incineroar and Volcarona. The Volcarona, and it's just understanding how to use your pressure from because for that matchup, and we can just go straight to Juan's team. We can just throw it up there to explain what Juan was running, which also great run by him as well. He was undefeated going into.
Yeah, he was the undefeated player.
Top 4.
We've seen this 6 before. This is literally the Frankfurt swapping for Dragonite. We saw this last week in Lille. It was actually had a lot of success. Not in a lot of ways to see it back again.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, it's actually, at least with the 6 Mons, it's relatively close to the original Doug Balance team that we saw in the latter half of Regulation Age Part 1, and what we were expecting as, at least at the start, the top Balance team going in, with the fact that it's your Doug trio, Incin, and Sneasler, The only Pokemon difference is you swap the grass type Amoonguss into the grass type Rillaboom. The real meat and potatoes difference is the change in a lot of these sets, namely the Blood Moon Ursaluna going from the Terra Water Assault Vest into this Terra Electric Yawn Leftovers version, the Sneasler going from a Sash Pokemon or a White Herb Pokemon into the Grassy Seed setup acrobatics, and then since the Assault Vest is freed off from the Ursaluna, you can put it on the Rillaboom, which really makes the Rillaboom work on this team. Now, one of the things that we're looking at in the top 4 matchup was the fact that with the Unburden, you need, like, Teotime needed 3 Quiver Dance boosts on his Volcarona in order to outpace the Sneasler, and he was just properly getting the instant in, putting out Intimidate, swapping, and just like feinting to preserve the fake out and to get another fake out from the Rillaboom in, or going in parting shotting to keep that fake out pressure up. There were a lot of times where the Volcarona was just sitting there, it took a yawn, and it's like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep next turn.
Just take the extra Quiver Dance. Yeah. The whole point was to have as many Quiver Dance boosts as possible, because you had the cycle with your Intimidate, so that meant the opposing Sneasler was not going to threaten you. You had the Terra, you're already +1, so you were in a situation where at this point it's just protect Volcarona. And Teotime navigated that very, very well. Also kind of got lucky in a couple spots, some early wake ups on some sleeps. That definitely bailed them out, because if they'd fallen asleep one turn longer, the fake out cycle was going to end up getting broken because the pressure is gone from the coming off the Volcarona. So definitely some luck went Teotime's way to get to that point. But it was a very, very good match. I would say that's probably the best match of all of Gdansk, because the other top 4 match was not as impressive in my opinion.
No. And it's was a younger player, so Mihail Kwiatkowski in 4th place. Mihail's team
they're still a very good player. They
insanely.
They're a very, very good player. It's just I don't know. It feels like they weren't respecting Simone's team very well. They were Michael was very aggressive, very looking to just pick up KOs, and that kind of played into a lot of what Simone was trying to do. This team being the King Gambit, Magmar, Follow Me, Swords Dance, things that we were seeing before. They finally learned that Terra Dark King Gambit is not it.
Nope, not anymore.
Look at that. Hey, when you take your fighting weakness away from King Gambit, it actually does stuff.
Yeah. And being a fire type in this format right now feels really, really good.
Yes.
Also, again, like you're seeing the Magmar redirection, it feels like just in general redirection to an extent. There are in the top 8. We have 3 different redirectors. But it doesn't feel as omnipresent as it did early in the format, where not only did it feel like every team had a redirector, but like when we were doing our tier list, I counted 14 tierable redirection Pokemon. So seeing Magmar appear, that's really nice to see. In general, this feels like a very like last like 2024 Reg H-ish team.
Kinda. Usually that Magmar was an Electabuzz.
It was either an Electabuzz, and then sometimes there was also a Volcarona on the team. So like there are definitely differences, but it's one of those things where it just, again, like I'm not saying it's an outdated team.
No.
Or feels outdated. It's very good.
It looks outdated on paper,
it does.
But it's not. If that makes sense. I will say I do like the Burning Jealousy for the Magmar. I feel like that's why we swapped to Magmar from Electabuzz that we normally used to see here. Burning Jealousy punishes the Swords Dancing Sneaslers. It punishes opposing King Gambit. It punishes anything that gets a stat boost.
Actually, I was just about to say that I don't know the answer to, and I'm not sure if you do. On the turn the Sneasler switches in and activates its seed, Like, let's just say
it's just like Intrepid Sword.
it does. Okay. Yep.
It counts just like Intrepid Sword used to.
Yep, that is what I needed. So
that is why it's
that is pretty sick. You call the grassy seed sneasler switch in, and you just throw the burn in and kill it immediately, and just like kill all the pressure from it immediately.
Yeah,
I think that is a really, really neat tech. On the Magmar.
that is a big reason why to be on Magmar instead of Electabuzz right now. The Electroweb isn't as oppressive, I guess is the way to put it, as it was back in the first time. This also checks Annihilate really well, as they have gone away from Terra Fire. I started being like Terra Fairy and Terra Water for certain situations. So they can't safely bulk up in front of you anymore, depending on how your Magmar is trained. So definitely a lot of cool things for Burning Jealousy to kind of pick up on, and I feel like that probably got them a lot of games wins just because of that. Also, the Basket Legion's really, really cool, being the Terra Fighting Terra Blast version, looking to just have that extra coverage to beat up opposing Archaludon or any other fighting weak Pokemon on the team, because having two real big fighting type attacks is not going to be bad for anyone.
No. Also, I think one of the things that's really cool is the Life Orb on Ninetales. And this is running it with Moonblast and Blizzard. A lot of times we don't see Ninetales use the Fairy type coverage. Again, because there are so many different moves. Our two finalists were running Encore and Disable over the Moonblast, and of course we have the Aurora Veil, Icy Wind. You have. I'm just going through, like, we can just go through the list of moves that we usually see in Ninetales. Yeah, Blizzard, Encore, Protect, Icy Wind, Aura Veil, Disable, Freeze Dry, Icicle Spear, Terra Blast, Moonblast. Hell, there was a Roar, Ninetales.
The Roar is actually really cool, because I've seen that one before. The Roar tech's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, there are so many like moves that this Ninetales can use, and also so many items. The Covert Cloak, the Sash, Never Melt Ice, Specs we've seen have success. Of course, the Light Clay, and in this case, it's the Life Orb. Really utilizing the fact that in a low power format, Ninetales is relatively low attack stat, but really great typing. Allows you to get this great super effective damage into Pokemon that matter in the format.
We've seen Icicle Spear coming from Ninetales too. I just thought about that one.
I said Icicle Spear.
Did you?
Yeah.
I can say that one. That one's the big one, because that one was paired next to Annihilate.
Yeah, absolutely love doing that. One of my favorite things.
You're not guaranteed
you can
4 or 5, and so it's like you might get like 2, but still two hits on your Rage Fist is usually decent enough.
Enough in a lot of cases. But yeah, it's the Life Orb to just boost the damage. Life Orb Blizzard being able to really punish Rillaboom, especially Rillaboom and Ursaluna, especially when those Pokemon aren't holding their Assault Vest. That Life Orb boost just really adds onto the multiplier of the super effective damage. Moonblast also being a way to like just hit Dragon types and hit Fighting types. Another key way to do that. Of course, you have the Blizzard, but let's just say your opponent has like a Wide Guard and you can't click Blizzard. Well, now you can click Moonblast, and that's neat.
Well, at that point you just click them and you just encore them, lock them into that.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, you do that first. And yeah,
you
also
encore them, and then your partner just takes care of everything else.
Also, back to that top 4, a lot of encore gaming as well.
Yeah, encore has started to pop back up at the top of the format as like it was really powerful, and that tends to be what happens when we see a lot of the Swords Dance and the setup stuff and things like that. Encore becomes more important when you start to see things like Scarf, Basket Legion a lot more. Disable also kind of starts to pop up and be a combo.
Actually, now I'm looking at this, Mihail's Ninetales is the only Life Orb Ninetales in the entire tournament.
Yeah,
so that's very, very neat. And again, what we were saying with Encore beat Protect by 1 usage as the second most popular attack on Ninetales. Every single one of them had Blizzard, because if
you're playing Ninetales, you're not playing Blizzard. I feel like you're playing it wrong.
Yeah, no, you need a button that is always pressable. because your other buttons, like, there are points where Encore is not going to get you that much further because you've already Encored them, or the screens are already up, or there's nothing to really disable, so on and so forth. You don't want to click Icy Wind because you actually want to do damage, and there's an Annihilate across the field, and they're going to be a little slower, and you just gave them +2 attack, and they're going to punch you in your face so hard that it doesn't matter if they're slow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, having Blizzard to just... And Blizzard's also a little bit of like a bullshit, get a free jail card, get a little cheeky freeze. All of a sudden you go from I'm going to lose this matchup to, oh, neat, I win.
Which
because
we saw a couple timely freezes that end up being turn 1 thaws that end up not mattering. So like there's some stuff working out there, which is cool. You want to know a team that doesn't have to worry about freeze?
Let's see it.
It's our 5th place team.
Oh, Fetty Compo. So Fetty Compo is wearing his Marco skin, because this is just the Marco Sun team.
This is Marco Sun team.
Yeah. Good players make good teams. They just stay good. What's been really a little annoying is there's been a few players in my local scene who have just decided that like Charizard just blows things up. And there's been was my local last Saturday where I was up against a player, and we're like trying to figure stuff out where like, okay, pretty much at what point I'm like, if I Terra my Ursaluna, does it live? And in case where like, do I have to commit the Terra? And it was like a case where just the raw like Terra, what was it? The raw spec solar power, no boost. Went to not, and like I was able to live it by like 40 health, and I was able to punish. And then I'm like, crap, just going to click Helping Hand next game. Game 2, I'm like, okay, let me see if he sees this, or I can get a miss. And he was also like Terrifier, and he just went Terrifier, Helping Hand, Heat Wave. He's like,
just gonna blow you up.
Yeah, what was it? I lost both
press
of
the
my...
nuke.
Yeah, he did that. I lost both of my Pokemon. I just looked up, and I'm like, okay, game 3. And then I went and conditioned him enough where I'm like, I can bring the Dragonite in game 3. You can't OHKO that one through the multi-scale.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck with that.
It also did an uncomfortable amount of damage through the multi-scale.
It should. It's going to.
Yeah, again, this team in general is just a case of a really good team being good. This is the most optimal way to play Sun.
I don't think I think the only other way you play Sun is if you're doing like the Lilligant after you stuff.
If you're playing Trick Room, yes.
Yeah, this one's also
like 10th place.
This one's also playing Trick Room. Like they're both Sun Room teams. They're just slightly different in how they approach the room part. And so these are the 2 ways to play Sun. If you want to play like the more sleep powder supporty stuff, you got the Jump Bluff version. If you want to play more, I'm gonna close combat you and do after you eruption stuff, you have the Lilligant version. We don't have to talk about this one. It's we've talked it to death.
Lewis Markle played a good team and did very well.
Yeah.
Awesome
Congratulations.
job. Awesome job. I will say one of the things to know, at least with the Goldengos that we haven't seen that 3-attack Goldengo that we were seeing.
The Power Gem one. I think that one fell off a little bit going into day 2.
Yeah.
It was really, really good day one, but I think it fell off going into day 2.
Yeah. Now, the 7th place team is a team that we've talked about a lot in passing because of the fact that it was a team that did really well on the online tours. It was a team that Japan really developed, and I think it won a VR, but we never actually saw it come through to success in an actual in-person major. I believe this is the best success it's had, and if I'm mistaken, please correct me. This is the Blaziken Basculegion Balance team. You have the Terrifier King Gambit. You have the Baxcalibur with the Loaded Dice Scale Shot, Life Orb Primarina with Double Fairy and Hyper Voice, and then you're going through on the other side. Your Rillaboom and Electabuzz are very standard. AV Terrifier on the Rillaboom with the high horsepower as your coverage move over U-turn. And on the Electabuzz, your Terra Ghost, Follow Me, Protect, Taunt, Electro Web. That's your speed control Pokemon, and also your anti-trick room deterrent, because you can go and taunt into the trick room. Blaziken is a little interesting. It's a fit of a best of it fits a lot of different roles. It is a fast coaching Pokemon, especially once it starts getting the speed boost going. And you have 3 Pokemon on the team in the Rilla, Bax, and Gambit that really love being both boosted defensively and offensively. And held even the defensive boost on Primarina is really great.
I'm about to say, the team just likes having boosts.
Yeah, we've been seeing for almost half the year at this point that even the special attacking Pokemon love a defense boost to just stay on the field longer.
Yep. In these low-powered formats, you just want to stay on the field as long as possible. Yeah. And this definitely does that.
I think one of the neat things that Blaziken does have to offer on like what it can do that other coaching Pokemon cannot is that it can legitimately be ran as a special attacker. We see here with Aura Sphere and Heat Wave. What's nice about Aura Sphere, you talk about like a move that we talk about moves that like can miss all the time. This move literally cannot miss.
It's going to hit you. It's going to hit you if it can hit you.
And the fact that a lot of these Pokemon, like the King Gambit here, even if it, like with the Terra Dark, it was very physically defensive. It was real easy to tech it with, even if you were going to be Terra Dark, to live the close combat from a Sneasler. Boy's not living in Aura Sphere. Because their special attack stats aren't as strong. There isn't as much of a reason to invest as much into the special attack. Into the special defense. On these Pokemon. So having that the super effective fighting type move is really, really great. So many Pokemon are running, or at least we've seen a lot of Pokemon run a special Terra Blast, Terra Fighting, so to actually have the legitimate fighting type special attack, it's really, really great. Also gives you a Fire, Water, Grass with the Rillaboom and the Primarina. Your little starter trio here. Ethical starter trio because there's no Incin.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. But yeah, it's I think this is just a really neat team. Again, something we've known about for a few months now, but the first time we're actually seeing it get the result.
Yeah, this is the first time we actually got to see it. I think like at a live event, and it was really cool to see it on camera. If there was going to be a team that was going to get Carter to come back to VGC, this would probably be it.
Yeah.
Because like it's got set
up. You can play
with
Mega Blaziken once Champions comes
Blaziken. Out. Yeah, this team's cool. Last team for top 8 is Mateo Sotomayor's Rain, Archaludon, Amoonguss stuff.
This is the classic Rain team.
The big thing is the Rain teams are starting to pick up Amoonguss again because Dondozo is starting to pick up again. So having the Clear Smog Spore user is better than the Sinistra.
Yeah,
in most situations.
Yeah, I really like the Terra Psychic. We've seen that as well on the Doug teams from last year, or at least like these Amoonguss teams going with the Terra Psychic. Terra Psychic allows it to be a lot more threatening against your like Psy Spam Trick Room, where you're able to resist the Psychic type moves, resist Gallade, and then if you go and click Trick Room, well, you can just start Spore spamming everything. And now you're able to turn the tables on them where, sure, they're moving faster, but their move is burning a Sleep Turn counter, while your move is clicking a Make It Rain or doing whatever Archaludon things you want to do next to your Amoonguss. I think that, in general, really cool team. And, again, just that little change, that little tech, with the Citrus Berry and the Terra Psychic on the Amoonguss going 4 attack, no protect, makes it like it gives it that edge where you can use it on teams in a way that it really wasn't able to be used before, or at least wasn't being used before on this, again, relatively common team composition.
Yeah.
And this was a set top 8, and before we get into other teams, you want to talk about? We mentioned it last week, but the fact it's been 2 times now that they've done what they're now calling Phase 2 games on day 1.
Yeah, It's weird. I don't know if it's a Europe thing because they definitely didn't do this in Milwaukee. No. At least on camera anyway. If they played around 9 or whatever off camera, that's on them. But I also know our events in NA start like broadcasting a little later usually. Usually they do round ones unless they're on the ball. Usually round 1, and even sometimes round 2, we usually don't get to see for VGC in the NA events. Whereas in EU, I'm pretty sure they start from the get go at round 1, giving you events and giving you coverage and whatnot.
Yeah, I know that one of the things that they've said in the past, or at least I've heard with these two events, is like they want to guarantee to be able to get every single top cut match from top eight, like the start of top 8 on. Which at Milwaukee they were also able to pretty much do that as well.
I don't understand. I'm confused on what the rush is.
I think the idea that I've seen come out, it might be a different, just general production contract.
That doesn't make any sense though, because TCG is still going on
for VG. I have no idea.
No, so here's the thing: if you are in a situation as the people who are organizing the event and organizing the production, if you're going to have everybody there to do the TCG stuff and the Go stuff, that's still going on until whatever, because Gdansk's VGC stuff ended. TCG has just started getting ready to get into their top 4 match. They were in such a they seem like they're in such a rush to get through all of VGC stuff, but they were still going to have the venue open to people for at least another 2 to 3 hours tops, because they were going to do all the matches for TCG, which they normally do that. They normally do all the top 4 and whatnot.
So I really don't know what's going on with that. I know that the people who have played have not been happy because it is a very, very long day. You also mentioned, I didn't even see this, they did a lunch break.
They had a lunch break on day one, yeah.
Yeah,
like I woke up during their lunch break time to watch the coverage. I woke up to like, oh, Gdansk is on. I'll put it on my phone, throw an earbud in, lay back down in bed, and kind of hang out. I got to sit around and wait for them to finish their lunch.
Which that was a thing where it was, if you made phase 2. Now I don't know how many matches they did. I believe that they showed round 12 on stream today, but I think the way that they split it up is they went and played. So after phase 1 was finished, the first 8 rounds, they played rounds 9. I think it was at least rounds 9 and 10 after that. And so yeah, you played 10 rounds with a lunch break, and then you went in today, you played your last 2 rounds, and then just the way that cut worked out was a very clear,
it was very clean 8.
Yep, top 8 into that. So
which, did we say how many players Gdansk had? It wasn't very many. It was 400.
It was comparatively,
like 417.
Yeah, 417.
Yeah, which, like, if you go back and look at Lil was almost 700. So that's like almost a 300 player drop off, which these back-to-back events, usually that's what happens.
Yeah.
Players can usually afford to go to one, but not having as many, that's like have a bunch of time in between. It gets harder for them to go to back-to-back events like that.
I also, one of the other things is that these were both regionals. If one of these was a special event, in Europe, special events are free to register, and that's why you'll always see the absolute like nuttiest registration numbers.
Yeah, you get crazy numbers and crazy teams because people just show up to play,
or they just sign up, and if they don't go, it's not like they're out.
Yeah, they're not. You're not out anything. Yeah.
Like you can literally make it a game time decision on whether or not you're going to this event, because if I don't go, I don't lose any money. The fact that these were both regionals, they both had I don't know what the equivalent, like if it's the same equivalent of what we're paying, which is like $70 to $80 to register for these events. I'm not sure if that's what they're paying as well in Europe for these regionals. However, the fact that a regional has a fee and a special event doesn't, that is a big difference. And yeah, so it was a smaller event as well. So them going through everything, having to go
them
play
getting a
their
clean
all-arounds.
8 is nice though.
Yeah.
That's the design of the whole new structure. Is you want those clean top 8s, but you still want to give everybody enough shots to make it into top 8 and have as many, have a bigger day 2 part of it, which is this is the goal. Is to get those clean top 8s like that, even through having an extra Swiss round. Everybody gets to play whatever. The problem is they're pushing the day 2 rounds into day 1, and they need to leave it in day 2. I again, I just don't understand why they feel like they have to rush and get a day 1 round in.
I have no way, or even just tell everyone we're playing 9 rounds. Like we've played 9 rounds.
Yeah,
before,
just say
often.
You're playing 9 rounds.
I think 9 rounds.
Not
9 rounds
impromptu
isn't terrible.
Throwing them in there.
Yeah, like if it's a 9 round day 1, and instead of it being 6-2 cut, it's 7-2 cut to get into day 2. Is what it like? That's what we were doing.
What it is.
Immediately.
Yeah,
like at the start of Gen 9, so maybe we're reinventing the wheel here. I think the big test is going to be what we see in 2 weeks. We have Las Vegas regionals.
Yeah, with Las Vegas, I expect Las Vegas to be huge.
I'm not sure where the number
partly
is.
Because, they're designed to hold. Like, I believe it's at the same venue that MagicCon was, which MagicCon was ginormous.
They're having it. Yeah, they're having it at the Vegas Convention Center, Paradise Road.
This place is, if that's the one I think it is, then this place is ginormous, and this event's going to be huge.
Yeah, no, this place is it is what you're thinking it is, and the
it's
place
got the major airport. It's easily accessible for everybody.
I have seen, I know at least in my region, the plane tickets have been relatively expensive. But yeah, again, this isn't a difficult event to get to. Everyone has flights to Vegas because everyone is going to Vegas. My only question is like for people who are traveling in like no idea if like people are saying, "Oh, let me just go to an event in," because I know the next week is LAIC. I know a lot of people have, at least in my area, some of them have, or like screw it, let's just go down to Brazil instead of going to Vegas. It's like a little more expensive, but I can go to the bigger events and get more for my money in terms of potential points. Yeah, it would like Vegas in 2 weeks. That is also going to be the last North American event. In Regulation H, we have Buenos Aires that same exact weekend as a special event. LAIC the following weekend, the weekend before Thanksgiving, and Stuttgart the weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, as the last Regulation H event. Now, with that being said, we said the last Regulation H event. Angelo, there's more events to be played before Champions comes out because we don't have a date. And I will say to you, you are correct. And they finally went and announced during the event what we will be playing, as expected by, I'd say, many of us in the community. I know Carl and I have said this multiple times on the pod. We will be playing Regulation F for the remainder of, probably what will be the remainder of Scarlet and Violet, starting on December 1st all the way through March 30th, which means that the following events: Toronto, Birmingham, Merida, Auckland, Santiago, Seattle, Curitiba, Houston, and Seville, along with EUIC, will all be played in Regulation F. Yes, you can click Surging Strikes again, folks. Why you're going to be excited to click Surging Strikes, who can say?
It's not even the Surging Strikes. It's the Pal Knight and Ogre Pawn and Calm Mind Raging Bolt.
The Calm Mind Raging Bolt, that is... So I will say, in my opinion, I feel like Regulation F is like the... For me, it was the best regulation, and I'm excited that we're going to that aspect of it. But then at the same time, like, Chris texted me today, he's like, Angela, why are these sickos like excited to play with Urshifu again? What is going on, folks? And I think like that's one of the things with Scarlet and Violet, just in aggregate, I think of is that we had from like call it, what was it? From January 23 through June 23, no Urshifu. And then from that point on, outside of Regulation H, it's just been the Urshifu show. And it would be like, I'm just hoping that when we get champions, they wait to put the Pokemon, like, or even just any sub-legendary in, let the other Pokemon just breathe before we're like, okay, let's get the MVPs in here. Let's get the proven talent in.
I have a feeling that champions will just be a combination of Gen 9's like base decks plus ZA's base decks.
I would be cool with that.
I think that's all, because we know Dozo, we know like things like Dondozo in the game.
Well, we've also seen Sneasler though.
Yeah, so it's like we don't know exactly where they're drawing the line at for champions, because we, like we said, we've seen Sneasler, we've seen Dondozo in trailers, so we're not 100% certain on like what the formats are going to look like.
Just let the megas breathe. There's going to be a lot of fun ones. Hopefully, who can say?
We still got to get like the abilities for the megas and whatnot. We don't know what any of those really are.
Yeah.
There's
we
some
need the game
speculation. To come out. So that'll be cool. We're supposed to get home connectivity, I think, about the same time we get Mega Dimension. So we'll get all the data then, probably when that happens. But I'm not mad at Reg F. If we were going to go to it, like, it makes the most sense because no, I don't think anybody realizes how busted Dragonite would be in like a Reg A format with scale shot access.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, and I also think it's just a situation where it would be really weird if we went back to something like Reg C. It's like, oh, all of these Pokemon that we added in, you can't use any of them anymore. It's like they're just all banned.
People were asking for was literally just Reg F.
Yeah,
they were asking for Reg C with the new moves. I'm just like, then just play F. Like,
I think if they want,
you're getting to get the couple more of the Pokemon that you don't really care for. That's fine. It's whatever. But
I think like the only other cool, like if they wanted to make a brand new format, would have been doing Reg H and then just adding the Paradox Pokemon, like no sub-legendaries, just Paradox. Now, would Raging Bolt and Gouging Fire be absolutely disgusting?
Oh god, they'd be so gross.
They would be. They would be.
Granted, they're going to be gross in this anyway, so it's fine.
Yes. No, we're going to be going back to the time in New England where there were two genders, Blood Moon and Gouging Fire.
We get to use our shiny Ruin Pokemon now.
We do get to use our shiny Ruin Pokemon. I think that's the other thing that's really cool.
We can use to get my
Bluefish,
shiny Dondozo and my shiny Tinglu, and we're going to mess everybody up.
Yeah. No, it's I mean, like with for me, it's I honestly
shiny
what this did. Yeah. What this did for me is I was thinking, oh, maybe Amanda and I, like, we go to Seattle, go to that event. I was looking at Houston because apparently it's relatively cheap to fly to Houston. I think I found tickets for $200. I'm not spending money to go play Reg F.
No. At this point, I am looking forward to hopefully champions, and I that would be like go to Indy and go spend a week in Indy. Go do that.
For me, it's probably so like Orlando is kind of in play for me. It's very, very cheap to fly from Providence to Orlando. Insanely cheap to fly from Providence to Orlando.
Well, I mean, it's all East Coast, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's also like it's a JetBlue hub, so it again just real easy flights. But it being Easter weekend, and probably that's why they're having the event Easter weekend.
So that's again, like, that plays into what I was talking about when we were trying to figure out the timeline and stuff. It's like, we're going to get Pokemon Day release for Champions. It gives us a month to play through it. Easter weekend's going to be the first Champions event, meaning it'll probably be a smaller turnout than normal because people are going to still do their Easter stuff. Orlando being the location or not, it was going to be a smaller turnout probably, just because North American holiday. Everybody's
do I mean, it's weird because it's like it could be smaller because North American
the goal is for it to be smaller. The goal. Is it going to happen that way? I don't think so.
Yeah, because this is also the last East Coast event. East Coast,
probably the first Champions event.
Yeah, that too.
It's going to be, like I said, the last East Coast event for the season. There's a lot that lines up for it to be a really big thing, and they really want it to be small because they don't want this to fail. They don't want to go in and host champions that weekend, and then everything freaking crashes.
Yeah, they don't need San Diego 2023 round 2,
Yeah.
or even Orlando Regionals 2023,
or whatever happened in last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like they don't need that. They're in a not great, like they want, after a game that was so buggy coming out, they need to make sure that
this event
hits the ground.
smoothly.
Yeah, this has to hit the ground running.
I am very worried about cross-platform connectivity in these certain situations for this reason. It's just like you get enough of these people who are on mobile phones, who are on Switch 1s, who are on Switch 2s, and you get to a situation of cross-play platform going from mobile to Switch 2 or from Switch 1 to mobile and then Switch 1 to Switch 2. They're already having issues with Switch 1s to Switch 2s for SV. That's already a thing. Like, that's already a problem a lot of the time. They like to drop connections. They don't like to play with each other. And so now you're adding mobile phones into this weird tri-pronged like connection setup. This has the potential to be really bad, and then there's just like, well, we're going to ban mobile for X amount of time until we get everything figured out for that situation. Yeah. Or like there's a lot of things that could go wrong, and then it causes a lot of problems and it hurts the game. I'm hopeful that they don't have to worry about that and they can get it to work right the first time, and then everything goes smoothly. That'd be ideal. But that was always my big worry with Champions being a mobile game too. It's just like people are going to want to play on their phones, and they already are very sticky about making sure that you use the correct hardware. Make sure you have phones that can run the game. They're already right now. They are making sure that like Go has phones, Unite has phones. Like they are dedicated phones for you to play with on stage and things like that. And so they're working their way towards making sure that everybody has the correct gear and the correct like comfort level with the systems they're working on. Oh,
but yeah, no, that's so yeah. That I think that we're at the future there, and I know future for us. One of the things we've talked about once we do get champions, going and looking at draft league stuff.
Oh my goodness, because we'll be able to draft megas and play with that, which I wish you could do also more in ZA.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing. Before we can like, I'm still like, I still haven't finished base game. I am on like the second group of like rogue mega battles. I haven't been able to play. I don't think I've played since like Tuesday or Wednesday. Actually, what day was the 18 inning game?
That was Wednesday.
Yeah, that was
Tuesday.
Yeah. Whatever day the World Series game, that was October 27th. Which was Monday. Okay, so yeah, that's actually the last time I played the game. Yeah, so the last time I played the game was Monday night. So it's been a bit. Work's been busy, just life's been busy. I know that one of the things that has been announced, if we want to talk about a little updates on that end before we head out, the new battle season is going to start on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's Wednesday. It comes out Wednesday. It'll be Wednesday evening our time.
Yeah.
Like it's like 6:00 or something.
Yep.
Now for those, that's usually when like Unite rotates, is that midnight UTC. So that's how I remember that one. Yeah. They made it much easier to get the rank up rewards. If you're going to play ranked and want to try it, wait till. I
mean, like, if you're ready to play it, you can jump in right now. But I think the big thing is, so they're going to have Greninja's Megastone in Season 2 as the rank Y reward instead of the rank K. And then delphox's Megastone, which is a new one that they're adding, is going to be the rank S. So you're not going to miss out on the Greninja Stone. You're still going to be able to get it. And you also will also be able to get to rank S quicker. The one change that we did see, though, I'm not sure if they changed it or not, but At least the last time I saw it.
Xerneas Yveltal.
Yep, Xerneas and Yveltal are going to be legal Pokemon.
Yveltal doesn't really do a whole lot. It's not that great. Xerneas is the one that's like, oh, we can plus Geomancy for this really big boost. The downside is steel types are really, really popular, so you're just dead to any heavy, like any like Iron Head, Swords Dance Mon in the game. Heavy Slam doesn't hurt as much because you're like Xerneas is a big Pokemon. So things like Hippowdon, Metagross, they're not going to really hurt you bad.
Unless the Metagross is like smashing you with a Meteor Mash, that's gonna hurt.
It's what's gonna hurt. It's the Swords Dance Skarmory. The Swords Dance Skarmory. Swords Dance Mega Skarmory is probably going to one shot you.
Swords Dance Mega Extra Drill definitely will as well.
That one definitely will be a problem too.
Yeah. I think one of the things that will make at least Xerneas in terms of battle-wise more balanced is that the speed stat really doesn't matter too much in ZA.
You haven't gotten there yet. The Geomancy charge time is a very long time.
Okay, so it takes a while for Geomancy to get...
It's a 30-second cooldown, and it is a pretty decent like charge up rate. So
okay,
you're gonna be standing still for a hot minute. The bonuses you get are really good. Yeah, but it's a 30-second cooldown. It's like a 3 count to get it to be used, activated. Okay, now you can go start doing stuff. But Xerneas is cool. Yveltal not so much. It's kind of unfortunate. Oblivion Wing doesn't feel like it heals as much in this game as it did in Sword and Shield when last time we saw it. So it's like, this is fine, but not great. I think we get Nasty Plot. I can't remember. I don't remember.
I think you do.
Set. I think we do.
Yeah.
Which there's probably like a Nasty Plot. A Nasty Plot. Oblivion Wing Dark Pulse Snarl set maybe.
Yeah.
Xerneas having both screens is really cool. If you don't want to do the Geomancy thing, you can do like Light Screen Reflect and like with Dazzling Gleam and just kind of be this kind of bulky fairy.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Which for those that don't know how ZA Light Screen and Reflect work, once you set them up, they're pretty much on your Pokemon between switches for the battle mode.
Yeah.
So a lot of what people do is they'll lead like a Clefable, or in this case the Xerneas. You can do that, and then you can set your screens and then swap out into something that's going to actually deal damage. A Reflect on a Mega Skarmory is really scary. Just FYI.
Yeah, once I get that's a Pokemon where once I get to it, I'm excited to use it.
I like my Mega Skarmory, I like my Garchomp, I like my Clefable, my three. Like I played it all the way up to G. If you didn't catch it on the YouTube, it's all up on the YouTube under. I was
going to say, yeah, you've been doing that a decent bit, and also like that's going to be something where I think. I mean, maybe
once I start getting like more resources gathered up and more Pokemon caught, because I still don't have all Pokemon.
Yeah,
I was going to say
even
Pokemon.
Then, like
I did catch my Glaceon finally, so I have my Glaceon that I can play with. I
know Stunfisk is apparently is good because it's a small hitbox as well.
Yeah, the small hitboxes are really, really important. Ampharos is starting to pick up a lot in usage just because it has a decent check into the dragons, because you still have dragon coverage as a regular Ampharos, and so things like Dragonite aren't that great into you, because you aren't dragon type and you resist the flying type, and so you get to hit it with your Dragon Pulse or whatever for super effective, and it's kind of just sitting there staring at you. Like, ow, that hurt.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's one of the other things we've looked at as well. And let us know if you're interested. Is just like doing like the 1v1 v1 friendlies for ZA. Once I'm at the point a little further in the game, I would love to enter that with you all. We've had a few asks from players, and yeah, it's just been a lot of fun, a lot of different ways to play competitive. Again, getting back into Regulation F. We also have to note this weekend as well before we leave is also the upcoming, like the November GC. So if you want like your last big chance that isn't a regional to go play Regulation H, it's going to be this upcoming weekend. Registration closes. So we're actually just at daylight savings. So registration closes at 6:59 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, November 6th, and then runs through 7 o'clock, that being 000 UTC, through the 9th, which is next Sunday.
I will not be participating.
I might be, because I do want to get my 100 championship points to qualify for New England Regionals.
I mean, you got something to play for.
I
have no reason.
I have some. Yeah, we have our own little event to do.
I just want to play more ZA. I'm loving that game so much.
Yeah, I finally got my first 10 championship points from my event last weekend. I came in third. So that was fun. Then this past Tuesday did not go well. That was a fun. That was a fun 1-2. Go out to the car and just hang out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was it's been a fun time of a lot of different Pokemon being played. And with that rambling, I mean, we covered the event. Again, the next event we have to cover is Vegas, which is in 2 weeks. This upcoming weekend, we will talk about something. Honestly, we might talk about more ZA, since we'll be a little more further into that. You want to do ZA tier list or Reg F revisit?
We could do Reg F revisit.
Okay.
The ZA stuff. I feel like the tier list for ZA is pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chaff in ZA competitive. The big things are just make sure you have like a good steel type, or at least good steel coverage. Earthquake Dig is really strong. If you're fairy type, can learn Dazzling Gleam. Do that.
Yes.
Like it's the tier list for ZA isn't really like what's good mons, bad mons. It's more what strategies you should be looking to focus on. Like the Dig Earthquake's really good. So that kind of impacts like what steel types you run. That's like, it's a big reason why Skarmory is really good. It's a big reason why Gyarados is really good. And so with Gyarados being good, you got to make sure you have electric coverage, just because you want to be able to hit that, because you don't want to play grass, because you're not hitting for super effective until they mega. And if the Gyarados is already mega, you're probably dead.
Yep.
So yeah, like we can touch on Reg F next week and look at that again. I'm sure
I will properly put Entei. Yeah, I will properly put Entei in A tier.
There you go.
So exercise that demon. I have the opportunity to right my wrongs.
Very nice.
Yeah, and you'll be able to catch that next week on our YouTube channel. And you can, of course, get all of our updates if you go and follow us on our social medias, which is on Blue Sky at Littleroot Lessons. You can also follow the hosts at Musical for Carl, at Mr. Missouri 25 for Carter, and at Rose Tinted Cheeks for myself. All of our videos are posted on our YouTube page at Littleroot Lessons. This is also where you can find the new laddering series that we've actually had some pretty decent results so far with. Carter's TCG laddering videos, and also Carl going and streaming all of his play of Pokemon ZA, whether it's been his full playthrough of the regular story, or his beginning to dabble in the ladder aspect of the game. You can also listen to the podcast on our podcatchers, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Wherever you find your podcasts, we will be. And let us know like what Pokemon you're kind of excited to see once we get back to Regulation H, whether it's a Pokemon that was missing from the Pokedex, such as Heatran or Landorus or Tornadus.
Oh god,
or if you answer Urshifu, you're going to jail. Or a Pokemon that, just isn't as good. For me, personally, very excited to see Farigiraf, because it is just a lot better in these formats than it is in Regulation H, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon introduced in Generation 9.
I'm ready for the Terra Fairy Heatran raid bosses again.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, just very excited to see all these different Pokemon. Let us know what you're excited to see. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us and listening. I just said calling in like we're a radio show. Maybe one day.
Maybe.
And thank you very much. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.